Good morning. Please be seated. What a wonderful day. As the Grand Marshal for this commencement ceremony, I am pleased to extend greetings to all gathered here today. It is indeed an honor to make it known that Des Moines University will award degrees to our graduates in the College of Osteopathic Medicine, the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery, and the College of Health Sciences. This ceremony, the 112th in the history of Des Moines University, continues a rich academic tradition that began in 1899 when the first class of 8 students received their degrees. Today, May 25th, 2012, will proudly award 529 degrees representing its 3 colleges and 9 academic programs. I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Angela L. Franklin, who became Des Moines University's 15th president in March 2011. Dr. Franklin has served in higher education for more than 20 years, and prior to joining Des Moines University, she was executive vice president and provost at Meharry College in Nashville, Tennessee. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Franklin as she serves as the presiding official at this commencement ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Gray, and welcome to everyone gathered here today to pay tribute to this great nation for the many freedoms we enjoy. Will the audience please rise for the national anthem? We are pleased that Sarah Ling, a second-year student in the College of Osteopathic Medicine, will lead us in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sarah. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Let us all join our hearts and minds for a moment of silence. Please remain standing for a moment of silence in reflection of the gratitude of our many blessings. Thank you. You may be seated. members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, graduates, alumni, family members, and friends, welcome to the 112th Commencement Ceremony for Des Moines University. This is an exciting day for all of us. It is a day when our students fulfill the promise that began with their acceptance to Des Moines University and culminates today with the awarding of a professional degree. Graduates, I invite you to look at this vast audience gathered here to celebrate your accomplishments. Enjoy your day. This is also a day of celebration for all associated with Des Moines University. Throughout its history, this institution has conferred more than 15,000 degrees, providing graduates with the knowledge and training to improve the health and wellness of individuals as well as entire communities. With healthcare reform calling for an increase in the number of primary care providers and other skilled professionals, it is a time of unprecedented opportunity for the university and the graduates we honor today. While one can barely imagine the changes that will become part of the healthcare landscape in the next 10 to 25 years, you are superbly prepared with outstanding training, a heritage based in humanistic care, and a commitment to listen, engage, and collaborate in the many settings that provide or impact healthcare today. During your time at Des Moines University, you have indeed changed our world. You have inspired us with your service to the underserved, as demonstrated in the Homeless Camp Outreach Project, the Global Health Mission trips, and numerous visits to the underserved in our community. You have challenged us with your commitment to make this university the best it can be, as demonstrated by your interprofessional relationships, research projects, student government and club leadership, and your commitment to the value of inclusiveness through a demonstrated effort to ensure equal treatment for classmates, patients, and all in our society. Your ability to change the world is a result of the effort of a very special group gathered before us in the audience. Graduations could never occur were it not for the dedicated effort of our faculty, scholars, researchers, advisors, and mentors who have contributed immensely to your education and to the enhancement of the healthcare professions you represent. We are pleased to welcome back to their alma mater our distinguished alumni, whose work and accomplishments have provided a strong heritage and foundation for those of you who graduate today. Alumni, we thank you for proudly continuing the tradition of compassionate healthcare delivery that is a hallmark of our institution. We also want to recognize those alumni who serve America in the military by providing medical care for all who protect America's freedoms at home and on foreign shores. And we extend thanks to all veterans and active duty servicemen and women attending our ceremony today. On the dais are members of the Board of Trustees who have wisely governed the course of Des Moines University and ensured that our historic mission has been preserved and strengthened to the position of preeminence that we enjoy today. Members of the Board of Trustees and Emeritus Board members, will you please stand and be recognized? It is now my pleasure to invite the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. James Grecken, class of 1962, to deliver greetings to our graduates and guests.
As guardians of the university's mission and academic excellence, the members of the Board of Trustees are proud to extend greetings to all gathered here today. We are extremely proud to recognize these talented graduates and to extend our congratulations to them and as well to the faculty. We applaud each and every one of you and wish you a successful future dedicated to the care of patients and populations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grecken. On behalf of the faculty and all others in the community, we proudly call Des Moines University. I extend thanks to the families and friends who have joined us to celebrate the individual and collective achievements of the graduates, and to the class of 2012. As you celebrate the completion of a major milestone in your educational journey, Des Moines University is proud to recognize you as accomplished professionals. May you enjoy for many years the rewards that come to those who serve others. I'm grateful now, both personally and professionally, for the opportunity to introduce our commencement speaker. Dr. David Satcher's passion for improving the health condition was ignited in his childhood in the Jim Crow South, fueled through years of service in clinical and academic medicine, and fulfilled as a caring, compassionate, and prolific Surgeon General. Dr. Satcher continues to serve the public good as the director of the Satcher Health Leadership Institute at the Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia. The Institute's mission mirrors that of his life, which, is Dr. Satcher's own words, is to provide access to health care for people who have been left out. Appointed by President Bill Clinton in 1998 as the 16th Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Satcher served simultaneously in the positions of Surgeon General and Assistant Secretary of Health at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. As such, he held the rare rank of Full Admiral in the United States Public Health Corps, to reflect his dual offices. During his service as Surgeon General under both Democratic and Republican parties, Dr. Satcher dared to tackle issues that had not previously been addressed at the national level, including mental health, sexual education, and obesity, as well as the disparities that exist in healthcare access and quality for minorities. His groundbreaking reports, particularly around sexual health and behavior, were often controversial, but ultimately were hailed for creating a long overdue paradigm shift. His initial report on mental health was the first Surgeon General's report on this important health topic and received overwhelming support from policymakers, community leaders, and health professionals. Dr. Satcher's tenure in public service also includes serving as director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and administrator of the Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. Within the academic community, Dr. Satcher served as the president of Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia from 2004 to 2006, and the Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee from 1982 to 1993. In addition to governmental and academic credentials, Dr. Satcher served as fellow at the Kaiser Family Foundation and as a Robert Wood Johnson Clinical Scholar and Macy Fellow. He is a recipient of more than 40 honorary degrees and numerous distinguished honors, including major awards from the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Family Physicians. Dr. Satcher shares a philosophical connection to Des Moines University because not only has he been a champion of healthy lifestyles as a matter of health policy, he is an avid rower and enjoys tennis and gardening. Recently, he teamed up with Fuel Up to Play 60, an in-school program dedicated to fighting childhood obesity through proper nutrition and exercise in schools. Dr. Satcher, it is my honor to invite you to the podium to deliver the commencement address for the class of 2012.
Thank you very much, President Franklin, for that very kind introduction, to Chairman Grecken and members of the Board of Trustees, to the deans of the various schools and colleges, faculty, administrators, and especially to the class of 2012, including the parents and significant others who are gathered here to celebrate this very special occasion. Without question, this is a very special day, not just for you, but I think it's certainly a very special day for this institution and for our nation. So the first thing I want to do is to say congratulations to each of you for staying the course. I know that it was not always easy, but you're here today because of perseverance, and we owe you a debt of gratitude for that. I bring you greetings from the Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, and especially the Satcher Health Leadership Institute. Just a word about the Health Leadership Institute, because it actually grew out of an experience that I had with your president, President Angela Franklin. When I was president at the Morehouse School of Medicine, we started a leadership development program where for 4 hours every month we went into leadership retreat to study leadership and to discuss our various leadership styles. And she was one of the outstanding people in that group, a group from which I learned a lot. So I'm not surprised that today she's here as president of this great university. So Angela, I'm delighted to be able to be here with you. After serving as president of the Morehouse School of Medicine, the board voted to continue this leadership effort and approve the development of the Satcher Health Leadership Institute. Our mission is to develop a diverse group of leaders in the areas of medicine and public health, but especially to advance programs that will ultimately reduce and eliminate disparities in health. I want to talk briefly about ethics and the 3 dimensions of ethics as it relates to leadership in health care. As you leave us today, of course, you continue to advance your careers in medicine and public health in the various areas, whether you are getting a degree of Masters of Science of Public Health Administration, or physician assistant, physical therapy, podiatry, or doctor of osteopathic medicine. You are going to be health professionals. And that's very significant, and that's why you have the oaths of office that you're going to take later. But I want to talk about something that I think is really challenging to us today as we seek to reform our health system. And I must say, regardless of what happens with the Supreme Court, we have to look beyond that because there is a critical need in this country to advance health care. Our present health system is not sustainable in terms of cost or quality or access or balance, and certainly not in terms of equity. So it's important, I think, to think about your roles as leaders. And I think in one way or another, all of you are going to be leaders. We need you to be leaders, and I believe that in your various ways, you're going to be leaders. Well, the first dimension of ethical leadership, as defined by Dr. Fluker, Walter Fluker, in his book on ethical leadership, was the dimension of integrity. In other words, leaders have to be trusted. They have to know who they are. They have to be people who are who they say they are, but also who will do what they say they will do. In other words, character, something that's really personal, but it's really critical in terms of leadership because character shines through. Sooner or later, character shines through in leadership. So you have to be able to answer those questions. Who am I? Can I be trusted to be who I say I am, to do what I say I will do? But integrity goes beyond that. It also includes being committed to be the best that you can be. I think each one of us are endowed with certain traits and skills and abilities, and we actually have the responsibility to make the best of those. And to the extent that we fail to make the best of ourselves, it's a lack of integrity. Integrity includes a commitment to make the best of ourselves. Now, when I was Surgeon General, I think it was 1999, President Clinton asked me to represent the United States at a global conference on health promotion and disease prevention. And it turned out to be a real opportunity because my team and I had been working on a prescription for the American people. Now, you know, they called the Surgeon General America's doctor. I took that very seriously, and so I set out to develop a prescription for the American people. So when I was asked to represent the United States at this international conference, we completed the Surgeon General's prescription. And I passed that prescription out all over the world. And just briefly, it's about making the best of yourself. It's about physical activity, and it recommends at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. It's about good nutrition with a major focus on 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day and reducing fat, sweets, and salt in our diets. It's about avoiding toxins like tobacco and alcohol and illicit drugs. It's about being responsible in your sexual behavior. But it's also about dealing with stress. Each one of us has to have a strategy for dealing with the stress that is a part of our daily lives. Because if we don't deal with the stress, then sooner or later, that stress catches up with us. So we have to be committed to be the best that we can be, and that includes taking care of ourselves and the skills and talents that we've been given, but also making sure that we're prepared to deal with the various challenges. When I was director of the CDC, I think it was 1995, there was a major outbreak of Ebola in Zaire. And some of you know that Ebola can be a very deadly disease. It moves rapidly once one is infected. And in this particular case, in less than 2 weeks, 250 people had died of Ebola, and 30% of them were physicians and nurses. And everyone looked to the CDC to respond to what could be a global epidemic if we did not respond. So we decided to respond and to send a team over to Zaire. Now, my first concern was that, how do I convince people to go to an area where 250 people have died in the last 2 weeks, and 30% of them have been physicians and nurses? To my great surprise, what I found was that I had a different problem. Too many people wanted to go because they were prepared. This is what they had trained for. This is what they had learned and studied about. So they were prepared to go to the front line of the Ebola outbreak. It is important to be prepared. It's a part of integrity. I mean, if you say you're prepared to take care of patients, then when the challenge comes, you have to be ready to move. But to be prepared is not just to graduate from this institution. It is to continue to develop your skills. It is to continue to learn new things so that when the challenge comes, you will be ready to move. It's about using time wisely. And we all have a lot of time, but the real question is how we use it. One of my favorite poems, and nobody knows who wrote it, is called God's Minute. And it goes something like this. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, didn't choose it. Yet it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, and yet eternity is in it. God's minute. Well, the second dimension of ethical leadership is civility. And civility, of course, is about how we treat other people. I remember when I was getting ready to leave Anniston, Alabama, to go to Morehouse College in Atlanta. It was a really big thing because I had not been out of Alabama. My dad took me to the Greyhound bus station, and neither of my parents had finished elementary school, but they had really been good parents. And I was feeling a little strange because my dad had been a teacher for me. I grew up on a farm. He had taught us how to work the farm. He had taught me how to work in the foundry. And I felt like I was prepared for life. I could make a living, but he had never been to a college campus, so he had no idea where I was going or what I was going to. And so I was feeling a little sorry for him. And then I was getting ready to get on the bus, and it was the days of staunch segregation. As I was getting ready to get on the bus, he said, "David, I want you to promise me something." And I said, "Sure, Dad, what's that?" He said, "You're going to meet a lot of people where you're going, and most of them will have more than you. But you also might meet some people who have less than you. I want you to promise me that you will always treat everybody with respect." And on that day, I made that promise to him. And I must say, throughout all of my career and with all of the advice I have received in medical school, after medical school, in government, no advice has been more important than that advice that I received from Wilma Satcher on that day that I left Anniston, Alabama. Civility is about respecting other people. It's about treating other people with respect, regardless of their station in life. And that is especially important for those of us in the health field. So civility is about respect, but it's more than that. For us, especially in the healthcare arena, civility is about caring about people. It's about really caring. One of the mottos of the Satcher Health Leadership Institute is, in order to eliminate disparities in health, we need leaders who first care enough. Then we need leaders who know enough. We need leaders who have the courage to do enough. And finally, we need leaders who will persevere until a job is done. Caring is basic to all of what we do. And every one of the oaths of office here today that we will hear involves the importance of caring about other people. And it's not passive caring. It's really aggressive caring when you're in the health professions. You care about the health of people, not just those who are your patients, but those who need your care who may not be in the system. And that's why we're committed to health care reform, right? Because there's so many people out there who don't have access to certainly primary care and continuity of care. So we are committed to changing the system. Martin Luther King Jr. had a lot of quotes, and I was in school at Morehouse during the major part of the civil rights movement, and Martin Luther King Jr. was co-pastor with his dad at Ebenezer Baptist Church. And some of my friends and I would get together on a Sunday morning and walk the 3 miles from Morehouse College over to Ebenezer Baptist Church when we knew that Martin Luther King Jr. was in town. And of course, it was an amazing experience. I have a lot of Martin Luther King Jr. quotes. One of my favorites is the one in which he says, life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others? Life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others? And we have to keep that question in mind, and every day we have to answer it. Well, the last dimension of ethical leadership is broader. It is community. It's the spirit of community. And again, in each of your oaths of office, you talk about that responsibility to society, that responsibility to community. And I know that as you leave here today, you will take that responsibility very seriously. Now, I served on the World Health Organization's Commission on Social Determinants of Health. And if you ever get a chance, I would advise you to read, if not the whole report, read the summary, the executive summary, because what we reported after traveling all over the world to various countries was that in the final analysis, the social determinants of health are more important than health care itself. What are the major social determinants? Obviously, poverty, income, education. Well, what does that mean? It means those of us who are concerned about the health of people must be involved in the community. We must be concerned about safety in the community. We must be concerned about education for all of our children. The spirit of community is really the basis on which we do great things. We build homes, we build schools, we build churches, we build institutions like 1898 when this great institution opened. People come together as community and they do great things. And because of that, for many years after that, we see the results. So I encourage you to be leaders in the community. Help to make the community better. Help to make it safe. Help to make sure that everybody has access to healthy lifestyles, including places to be physically active, including access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Become involved in leading to make your community better. Well, maybe that's a lot to ask, but I think that's what you've committed to, and that's what you've prepared to do. And I'm confident that you will do it. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It can be very frustrating as you try to change things in this world and in this country. But it's important to be committed to change. I'm going to close with one of my favorite quotes, and it was a quote that I heard on Tuesday morning when I was a student at Morehouse College. The president was Benjamin Elijah Mays. He was president when Martin Luther King Jr. was a student there 15 years ahead of me, and he was president when I was a student. And every Tuesday morning, Benjamin Elijah Mays came to chapel to speak to the students. And I have a lot of Benjamin Mays quotes, but I'm going to leave you with my favorite. Benjamin Mays said, "It must be borne in mind that the great tragedy of life is not in failing to reach all your goals. It's in having no goals for which you're reaching. It's not a calamity if you die with dreams unfulfilled, but it's a calamity not to dream. It's not a disaster if you fail to achieve your highest ideals. It's a disaster if you have no high ideals for which you're striving. Not a disgrace to fail to reach the stars. It's a disgrace to have no stars for which you're reaching." In the final analysis, he said, and I say to you today, not failure, but low aim is sin. So whatever you do not be guilty of low aim. Godspeed.
Thank you, Dr. Satcher. Now, Dr. Satcher and Dr. Grecken, will you please join me at the podium? Whereas our collective future depends upon a sustainable healthcare system that provides access to high-quality, affordable healthcare regardless of ethnic, racial, or economic background, be it known that Dr. Satcher has devoted much of his career to eliminating health disparities for minorities, the poor, and other disadvantaged groups. Whereas Dr. Satcher modeled effective leadership focused on health promotion and disease prevention, be it known that he has developed a leadership institute that is poised to affect health policy on a national and global scale. Whereas Dr. Satcher demonstrated great courage and stamina to tackle health issues as Surgeon General that have been considered controversial, such as mental health, sexual health, and obesity, be it known that his leadership has triggered nationwide efforts aimed at prevention, heightened awareness, and the generation of major public health initiatives. Whereas Dr. Satcher embodies the core principles central to the fulfillment of our academic mission: accountability, honesty, collaboration, inclusiveness, and wellness. Be it known that in philosophy and commitment, his life's work and legacy are compatible with the mission, vision, and values of Des Moines University. Therefore, in recognition of Dr. David Satcher's widely acclaimed contributions to public service, academia, leadership development, health access, and wellness, Des Moines University is proud to honor this truly distinguished statesman and leader. I'm privileged now to confer this degree upon my mentor and friend. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Des Moines University and by the state of Iowa, I do hereby confer upon David Satcher the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, of which this citation will be a witness forever.
Good morning. I'm Karen McLean, Provost at Des Moines University, and it is my honor to begin the official rite of graduation. The deans will now present their graduating classes in preparation for the awarding of the degrees. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Jody Cahalan, Dean of the College of Health Sciences.
Good morning and congratulations. Will the graduates from the College of Health Sciences in the Healthcare Administration Program, the Public Health Program, the Physician Assistant Program, the Post-Professional Doctor of Physical Therapy Program, and the Doctor in Physical Therapy Program please stand? President Franklin, members of the Board of Trustees, and honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the graduating class for the year 2012 of the College of Health Sciences. The members of the faculty of the College of Health Sciences have evaluated the candidates and endorse all of these students as worthy of having the degree Master of Healthcare Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, or Doctor of Physical Therapy conferred upon them. It is with great pride that I present the class of 2012 of the College of Health Sciences. You may be seated.
Good morning. First item is I want to offer my personal congratulations to the graduates of all programs on this remarkable day. If I could ask the graduates from the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery to please stand. President Franklin, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, family, and friends of these graduates, on behalf of the faculty, I present the 2012 graduating class of the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. The faculty of the college have evaluated the candidates and endorsed each of these individuals as worthy of having the degree Doctor of Podiatric Medicine conferred upon them. President Franklin, it is my pleasure to present the newest members of the podiatric medical profession. If I could ask you to please be seated.
Good morning. I'm Kendall Reed, Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, and I too would like to extend my congratulations to all classes and all programs for this wonderful achievement. Will the graduates from the College of Osteopathic Medicine please stand? President Franklin, members of the Board of Trustees, and honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the 2012 graduating class from the College of Osteopathic Medicine. The members of the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine have evaluated and endorsed all of these students as worthy of having the degree Master of Science in Anatomy, Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, or Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine conferred upon them. President Franklin, it is with great pride that I present the class of 2012 of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. Please be seated.
Once again, it is my pleasure to call our president, Dr. Angela Franklin, to the podium for the conferring of degrees. Will all the graduates please rise?
I am pleased to receive these candidates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this university and by the state of Iowa, I do hereby confer upon you the degree for which you have been endorsed with all of the honors, rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to this degree, of which your diploma will be a witness forever. You are hereby recognized as graduates and alumni of Des Moines University. Congratulations. You may be seated.
We will now recognize the degree recipients individually with the procession of the graduates. I am pleased to introduce Dan Chambers, Associate Professor in the Physician Assistant Program, who will announce the names of the graduates for the College of Health Sciences.
We will begin the recognition for the graduates in the Healthcare Administration program who have earned a Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Stephen C. Campbell. Terry A. Carpenter. Cheryl Ann Doms, graduate with distinction. Rebecca Jo Ellenwood. Bronson Allen Heath. Jessica J. Johnson. Shelley L. Jordan. Kyle David Kellum. Brandon R. Kranovich. Nicholas John Landgraf. Troy Allen Martins. Ryan Dean Meyer. Duck Hyun Wen. Megan Elizabeth Peterson. Erica Lee Reams. John Charles Redslaw. Michaela Schrofer. Joshua Allen Simpkins. Kei Ying Shang. Des Moines University now recognizes those graduates who have earned a Master of Public Health degree. Thank you. Denisa Balana Gaethje. Nuni Kaban Ting. Faisal Mohammed. Stephanie Marie Siegel. Joelle Marie Stolte. Fong Track. Craig Morgan Drayton has earned dual degrees in Master of Healthcare Administration and also Master of Public Health. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the platform the graduates of the Physician Assistant Program who are receiving the Master of Science degree in Physician Assistant Studies. Amy Sue Bastian. Hi, Betsy. Betsy Jo Bolton. Hi, Devin. Devin Stewart Bowman. Rachel Ann Brang. Chelsea Teresa Bruning. Carrie J. Buss. Bradley R. Carroll. Lori Lavon Clare. Lindsay K. Clark. Andrew Kozad, graduate with distinction. Caitlin E. Crouch. Stephen Allen DeVriese. Stephen K. Delavue. William Harris Fanter. Mitchell J. Fogel. Nathaniel Keith Fuller. Rachel Lynn Grimsley. Sarah Louise Grosser. Meg Kathleen Hartigan. Jessica Joy Hine. Jamie M. Hooley. Ashley R. Jones. Caitlin Claire Jostin. Emily Marie Kunabli. Charles Roy Knutson. They do. Jake Mefford. Sarah Ann Moeller. Ashley Marie Morris. Angela Lori Nelson. Rebecca Lynn O'Connell. Emily Peterman. Trista Ann Powers. Larissa A. Renvik. Kurt Lee Reddick. Jeffrey Van Richards. Jennifer Lynn Ruschenberg. Brooke Ashley Schweitzer. Diane Nicole Snakenberg. Brett Stewart. Matthew William Treat. Alita Janine Turrentine. Michelle Lynn Udelhoven. Shanika McCole Wheatley. Jessica Ann Wigert. Kara Renee Zachman. Bradley Rose Zito.
My name is Jo Kelly. I'm the director of the PA program, and I'm here to administer the oath of the physician assistant. If there are any physician assistants in the audience, please rise and say the oath with us, and if the students would please rise and say the oath. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will hold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-malfeasance, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care to patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties I pledge with sincerity and upon my honor. Please be seated.
Des Moines University offers the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree through an on-campus Doctor of Physical Therapy program and through an online post-professional program. We will first recognize the graduates of the Doctor of Physical Therapy program. Hooting the graduates are Dr. Joseph Weir, professor, and Dr. Shannon Peterson, assistant professor in the physical therapy program. Dr. Catherine G. Abrams. Dr. Nicholas Henry Adams. Dr. Jane R. Anderberg. Thank you. Dr. Chelsea Joanne Anderson. Dr. Lauren Nicole Anderson. Dr. Andrea S. Bailey. Dr. Kyle G. Bown. Dr. Rachel A. Boyer. Dr. Nicholas Matthew Brunig. Dr. Amanda Lee Burke. Dr. Jacob Michael Kane. Dr. Tara Joe Colt. Dr. Joshua M. DeYoung. Dr. Chris Dirks. Dr. Brandon John Ekholm. Dr. Ashley Elizabeth Ford. Dr. Jenna Graven Nasham. Dr. Samantha Marie Hayes. Dr. Danielle J. Heltzel. Dr. Melissa A. Hermsen. Dr. Lauren A. Heibel. Dr. Aaron Ann Hoverstein. Dr. Mary Ann Ireland. Dr. Ashley M. Jarek. Dr. Dana Kathleen Kelly. Dr. Joelle Lynn Knipp. Dr. Renee M. Kreitner. Dr. Caitlin Marie Limer. Dr. Jessica Marie Lind, hooded by Dr. Jap J. Lind. Dr. Megan Elise Lyon. Dr. Ellen Jean Majowski, graduate with distinction. Dr. Jessica Ann Jones McElroy. Dr. Lindsay Patricia McNay. Dr. Jason A. Mites. Dr. Ryan James Meese. Dr. Brian Gerald Miller. Dr. Kelsey M. Mims. Dr. Jesse Moots Fink. Dr. Abby Nicole Munson. Dr. Nicole Lynn Nelson. Dr. Catherine S. Paxton. Dr. Annalise Margaret Pepin. Dr. Matthew Trent Perry. Dr. Elizabeth A. Rasmussen. Dr. Lindsay S. Sled. Dr. Katie Lynette Stakoviak. Dr. Stephanie Jo Swinton. Dr. Alicia Thiel. Dr. Alexandra Ashley Tritz. Dr. Keith Rick. We will now recognize the graduates who are awarded the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree through the Post-Professional Doctor of Physical Therapy program. Hooding the graduates are Dr. Carrie Smith, Assistant Professor, and Dr. Candace Davis, Instructor and Online Course Coordinator. Dr. Teresa Myra Cantado Alamada. Dr. Paula Jane Baffy. Dr. Benjamin Cordero Bernardo. Dr. Christopherson Caro. Dr. Betsy Jane Cuseno. Thank you. Dr. Showman Katurji. Dr. Margaret Henry Cauties. Dr. Katie Irene Enlow. Dr. Willow Laura Henry. Dr. Michelle M. Herbst. Dr. Charles Thomas Hoffman. Thank you. Dr. Amanda M. Kilgore. Dr. Shankar Krishnan. Dr. Stephen Richard Kufal. Thank you. Dr. Omar L. Linzig. Dr. Marifal T. Malakar. Dr. Kathleen Deanne Martin. Dr. Patrice L. Mason. Dr. Jennifer Carol Miller. Dr. Taiwa Ogunle, Dr. Brooke D. Simpson, Dr. Richard Raymond Spencer, Dr. Kashif Sultan, Dr. Alwayne Sardaguda Taleba, Dr. Ramil D. Valamore, Dr. Michelle Marie Wyant, Dr. Golam Reze Yosifi, Dr. Karen Zilstra,
Good morning. My name is Tracy Bush, and I am the Program Director of the Doctor of Physical Therapy program and a proud member of the class of 1995. I believe our last graduate is making their way to her seat. Could I ask all of the DPT, Doctor of Physical Therapy graduates, to please stand? I would also like to take this opportunity to invite all of the physical therapists present today in the audience and on the stage to please stand and join the graduates as we recite the physical therapy oath in unison. As I practice the art of physical therapy, I will respect the rights and dignity of all of the individuals and will provide compassionate care. I will place the welfare of my patients and clients above my own self-interest. I will exercise sound judgment and comply with laws and regulations that govern physical therapy and protect the public from unethical, incompetent, and illegal acts. I will maintain professional competence and promote high standards for physical therapy practice, education, and research. I will address the health needs of society and strive to effect changes that benefit patients, clients, and the community. Thus, with this pledge, I freely accept the responsibilities that accompany the practice of physical therapy. Congratulations, graduates. Please be seated.
I am pleased to introduce Dr. Catherine Frosch, Assistant Professor of Podiatric Medicine and a member of the class of 2005, who will announce the names of the graduates in the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. Hooding the graduates are Dr. James Mahoney, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and Dr. John Bennett, Associate Professor.
We will now begin the onstage procession for the graduates from the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. Dr. Farwa Abid Hoffman, hooded by Dr. Scott Hoffman. Dr. T. Adebola Adeleke. Dr. Amber M. Allen, hooded by Dr. Jude Apuko-Ajiman. Sorry. Dr. Joseph R. Allison, the second. Dr. John Michael Baca. Dr. Stephen Luke Berthelsen. Dr. Adam L. Bingham. Dr. Jonathan E. Bjork. Dr. Colin J. Blackburn. Dr. Ted Everett Butterfield. Dr. Daniel Nicole Butto. Dr. Nathan Scott Coleman. Dr. Douglas L. Croft. Dr. Jackson Thomas Crow. Dr. Nick Nia Dang. Dr. Andrea Dayak de Croce. Dr. Adam Davis Sticks. Dr. Jeffrey W. Dykes. Dr. Ryan J. Donegan, also receiving Masters of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Erica L. Evans. Dr. Catherine Ames Fuller. Dr. Nicholas Alexander Fussell. Dr. Matthew L. German. Dr. Grant Wilson Gonzalez. Dr. Nathan C. Graves. Dr. Laura S. Heath. Dr. Catherine Christine Genuine, graduate with distinction. Dr. Clark Anthony Johnson, also receiving Master's of Science in Anatomy degree, hooded by Dr. Vaughn A. Johnson. Dr. Tyler Virgil Jolly. Dr. Alicia K. Jones. Dr. Bryce Jared Karolak. Dr. Kristen Vinji Klingenstein. Dr. Jennifer A. Cooley. Dr. Matthew William Elwood Lewin. Dr. Eric Andrew Lewis. Dr. Layla May Galbraith McKenzie, hooded by Dr. Catherine Elizabeth McKenzie. Dr. Stephen A. Moore. Dr. Thomas A. Pollock. Dr. Rachel N. Poore. Dr. Emily A. Quinn. Dr. Robert Allen Rentschler. Dr. Ryan James Rogers. Dr. Brian T. Schmidt. Dr. Reem Nasir Sheikh. Dr. Kevin Curtis Simonson. Dr. Ashley M. Smith. Dr. N. Jig Summers. Dr. Shelby Blair Swanson. Dr. Jessica Ann Tabbitt. Dr. David Tao. Dr. Sarah Mae Thompson. Dr. Rebecca M. Wiesner. Dr. Megan L. Wilder. Dr. Abby Hyman Williams. Dr. Francesca G. Zeppizotti.
The podiatric oath will be administered by Dr. Kevin Smith, Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs in the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery, and a member of the CPMS class of 1995. Will the graduates please stand?
At this time, I would like to invite all podiatric physicians in the audience and on the platform to rise and recite the podiatric oath with the graduates. Will the graduates please say the podiatric oath in unison with me? Upon my honor, I declare that I will accept the moral and the legal responsibilities which become mine as a member of the podiatric medical profession. Those talents with which I may have been endowed will be devoted to aid those who may choose to entrust themselves in my judgment and care. I will abstain from all intentional harm and wrongdoing to my fellow citizens, especially from abusing the soul or the body of those who entrust themselves to my professional care. In all good faith, I will support my profession and do what I may to advance its best interests, even at the sacrifice of my personal advantages. In serving my patients, I will administer to their needs in a professional manner to the best of my ability. In all instances, I will do that which will reflect credit and honor on this, my chosen profession. Congratulations.
I would now like to invite Dr. Luke Mortensen, Professor of Physiology and Pharmacology for the College of Osteopathic Medicine, to announce the graduates in the College of Osteopathic Medicine.
The College of Osteopathic Medicine is pleased to recognize those graduates who are awarded master's degrees through the college. All graduates in the Master of Science in Anatomy program are also receiving the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine or the Doctor of Podiatric Medicine degree and are recognized on stage for both when receiving the doctorate. For the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences program, graduates were recognized at a ceremony in August. We will now begin honoring the graduates of the College of Osteopathic Medicine earning the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. Hooding the graduates are Dr. Michael Flood, Chairperson of the Iowa Simulation Center, Dr. Kyla Carney, Associate Professor and Interim Chair, Department of Family Medicine, Dr. Craig Camby, Professor of Anatomy and Director of the Master of Science in Anatomy program, and Dr. Matthew Henry, Chairperson and Associate Professor of Physiology and Pharmacology. Dr. Benjamin Paulo Malig Abretigi. Dr. Rachel Lauren Ogneberg. Dr. Serena Mahima Alexander. Dr. Matthew J. Allred. Dr. Gary Rhett Andelin. Dr. Nicholas R. Appleby. Dr. Megan M. Berry. Dr. Sandeep Kaur Basanti. Dr. Megan Marie Baumgardner. Dr. Paul Henry Beeston, graduate with distinction, hooded by Dr. William Beeston. Dr. Bianca Angelica Belli. Dr. Rafiq Ben Abda. Dr. Daniel Thomas Behrens. Dr. Joseph Randall Berg. Dr. Patrick J. Blair. Dr. Timothy Andrew Blofus, hooded by Dr. Mark Blofus. Dr. Chelsea Jane Blagan. Dr. Gregory J. Blythe. Dr. Jessica Luann Booth. Dr. Leah Janine Brandon, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Derek Edward Brown. Dr. John Paul Buddy, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree, hooded by Dr. Jo Ann Buddy. Dr. Ryan Kenneth Callahan, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree, hooded by Dr. Michael E. Callahan. Dr. David D. Carr. Dr. Stephanie Robin Casey, hooded by Dr. Robert Brummett. Dr. Elizabeth Ceballos. Dr. Jennifer Rebecca Chambers. Dr. Douglas James Cook. Dr. Christopher Ryan Cooper. Dr. Jarrett Michael Copeman. Dr. Jason B. Crofts. Dr. Amanda Hope Croxton. Dr. Trang Kong. Dr. Kimberly Jo Cunningham. Dr. Folobo Y. Dare. Dr. Michael Arthur Davis. Dr. Nicole Crystal Davis. Dr. Sean M. DeBiser. Dr. Jeremy Defoe. Dr. Caleb G. Dickinson. Dr. Ryan B. Dick Perez. Dr. Taylor Brittany Doberstein. Dr. Carrie Ann Dodds. Dr. Amy Lynn Doherty, hooded by Dr. Megan Jenny Kane. Dr. Caitlin Mara Donegan. Dr. Michelle Lynn Duff, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Andrew Dunn. Dr. Emily Louise Eady. Dr. Jason M. Ellis. Dr. Martha C. Eartham. Dr. Loris Raymond Even. Dr. Alicia Nicole Farnworth. Dr. Muhammad Syed Fasiuddin. Dr. Chelsea Ray Field. Dr. Keely Marie Fitzgerald. Dr. Matthew Callis Fowler. Dr. Christina Marie Freston. Dr. Angela C. Foltz. Dr. Paul Aaron Garrett. Dr. Kelly Gunn. Dr. Ken R. Ghaffarian. Dr. Shana E. Godfred Cato. Dr. Priya Pooja Goyal. Dr. Michelle M. Gombas. Dr. Alyssa Lauren Gonzalez. Dr. Crystal A. Gordon. Dr. Reuben James Grothaus. Dr. J. Cody Geider. Dr. Tiffany A. Haben. Dr. Z. Hallbeck. Dr. James Alexander Hall. Dr. April Ann Hollick. Dr. Randall Tyler Hansen. Dr. Catherine Marie Hansen. Dr. Scott Thomas Hansen. Dr. Michelle K. Heaton. Dr. Daniel John Healy. Dr. Allison L. Hetland. Dr. Clinton Cooper Hiley. Dr. Jenny Ho. Dr. Gregory William Hobson. Dr. Laura Jolene Hoffman. Dr. Stephanie J. Houston. Dr. Jonathan B. Howe, hooded by Dr. Benjamin Howe and Dr. Catherine Howe. Dr. Michael David Hubbard. Dr. Mohsen Raza Jaffrey. Dr. Travis S. James, also receiving Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Dr. Gary Michael Haregi. Dr. Amy L. Jenks. Dr. Brianna Dawn Jewell. Dr. Gabriel D. Johnson. Dr. Kaizan J. Kalyaniwala. Okay. Dr. Christopher John Carnes, hooded by Dr. Don Carnes. Dr. Dawn Elizabeth Carnes, hooded by Dr. Christopher Carnes. Dr. Stacy Ann Casper. Dr. Devin Troy Kearns, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Nicholas Harold Kerr. Dr. Sikander Hayat Khan. Dr. Miriam Grace Kim. Dr. Teresa Lynn Klee. Dr. Ian Alexander Koch. Dr. Corey A. Koenig, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree, hooded by Dr. Sheila R. Koenig. Dr. Sheila R. Koenig, hooded by Dr. Corey A. Koenig. Dr. Noora Amir Queta. Dr. Jessica Elise Konarski. Dr. Rafal Kreja. Dr. Michelle Crone. Dr. Cadence Amber Kuklinski. Dr. Elizabeth Renu Kurian. Dr. Tate Allen Lage. Dr. Crystal Nicole Lang. Dr. Kelly Ann Larson. Dr. Melinda Joyce Lassiter, hooded by Dr. Marta Lewis Lassiter. Dr. Ashley Lynn Legrand Rosovics. Dr. Heidi D. Lerke. Dr. Cassidy Long. Dr. Velislava Valentinova Loseva. Dr. Hillary Kathleen Lundgren. Dr. Kevin Thomas Mansell, hooded by Dr. William Bernard Mansell. Dr. Anastasia Maria Marks, hooded by Dr. William J. Marks. Dr. Tyler Forrest Mayo. Dr. Shannon L. McCarthy. Dr. Alan Ali Mayer. Dr. Katie Sue Melton. Dr. Catherine Irene Myers. Dr. Zachary David Mahalachek. Dr. Dragomir Mich. Dr. Eric William Miller, hooded by Dr. Deborah Miller. Dr. Daniel Scott Mitchell. Dr. Brittany A. Montgomery. Dr. John Alexander Moore. Dr. Christina L. Morgan. Dr. August Wade Moritz. Dr. Andrew Joseph Meading. Dr. Elton Mustafarai. Dr. Eric Mitchell Neverman, also receiving Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Dr. Nicholas D. Newberry. Dr. Tong Din Nguyen. Dr. Tara A. Nielsen, also receiving Master of Public Health degree. Dr. Dmitry Nikolayenko, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Matthew Patrick Nyland, hooded by Dr. Laura Nyland. Dr. Sarah J. Norris. Dr. Brad D. Oliverson. Dr. Molly J. Orcutt. Dr. Michaeline Marie Otis, hooded by Dr. Matthew Otis. Dr. Kylie D. Otterwenger, hooded by Dr. Eric Otterwenger. Dr. James Devin Owens. Dr. Angelique Marie Pagano. Dr. Barry Albert Polizzi. Dr. James F. Palmer. Dr. Ashish R. Patel. Dr. Dewani A. Patel. Dr. Tejas V. Patel. Dr. Derek Dane Peters. Dr. Leah A. Philobaum, hooded by Dr. Maggie L. Throne. Dr. Brett Stephen Powell. Dr. James I. Prickett III. Dr. Amy Olivia Puderbaugh, hooded by Dr. Stephen Puderbaugh. Dr. Carly Marie Quam, hooded by Dr. Sean Stephen Quam. Dr. Sean Stephen Quam, hooded by Dr. Carly Marie Quam. Dr. Muhammad Abbas Ramtullah. Dr. Alyssa Catherine Romer. Dr. Brady Waite Reese. Dr. Stephanie Warren Reeser. Dr. Rochelle Marie Remus. Dr. Catherine Elizabeth Robin. Dr. Joshua Aaron Rosenblum. Dr. Elizabeth Ann Rottenberg. Dr. Aaron Stoss Rowan. Dr. Michelle Alicia Ruff. Dr. Jennifer C. Ruprick. Dr. Moiza Saad, hooded by Dr. Salman Saad. Dr. Catherine Jane Sandberg. Dr. Nicholas Ryan Sandersfeld. Dr. Christina J. Sarika. Dr. Meredith Carolyn Schaffner. Dr. Scott G. Schmidt. Dr. Catherine Ann Scott. Dr. Mariah Lynn Scott. Dr. Christina Marie Shimak. Dr. Jayton L. Shook, hooded by Dr. Robert J. Shook. Dr. Michael Joseph Seibel. Dr. Adam David Simonson. Dr. Janvi Sukram. Dr. Eric Edward Steinbrook. Dr. Ashley Amber Stillwell. Dr. Nicole Corinne Stucken. Dr. Joshua Gregory Straley. Dr. Kellen James Stromberg. Dr. Annalisa Marie Tenson. Dr. Megan Mary Timmerman. Dr. Jed Clayton Tompkins. Dr. Megan A. Traxinger. Dr. Bo Fu Ton. Dr. Chase Walter Ungs, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. John Thomas Radishak Vogel. Dr. Curtis J. Waite. Dr. Jing Grace Wang. Dr. Lucas Leon Webb, also receiving Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Dr. Sean Michael Weber. Dr. Rebecca White. Dr. Kristen Laurie Welter. Dr. Joshua J. Williams. Dr. Jennifer Serene Wong. Dr. Heidi M. Waxland. Dr. Ashley Marie Zillis. Our final graduates in the class of 2012 for the College of Osteopathic Medicine are the Fellows in Osteopathic Manual Medicine. They have spent one additional year training current students in the art and science of osteopathic principles and practice. Dr. Ann M. Darby. Dr. Barbara Jane Chan Ganchinko. Dr. Richard William Rapp. Dr. Anne Marie C. Zeller.
The osteopathic oath will be administered by Dr. Kyla Carney, Associate Professor and Interim Chairperson of the Department of Family Medicine. Will the graduates in osteopathic medicine please stand?
I would like to invite all of the DOs in the audience and on stage to please stand and reaffirm your oath with the graduates. We will say the oath in unison. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be mindful always to my responsibility to preserve the health and the life of my patients, to retain their respect both as a physician and a friend, who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation, and never by work or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art. To my college I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathy, which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Please be seated.
Congratulations again to all of the graduates. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Alumni Association of Des Moines University, Marcia Hammers, to come and give greetings to the graduates.
Only a few hours ago, you were Des Moines University students. Now you are part of an elite organization, nearly 12,000 strong, who call themselves DMU Alumni Forever. Allow me to be among the first to congratulate you and welcome you to the Des Moines University Alumni Association. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you have imagined. This is an exciting time of new beginnings for you. You are embarking on the next phase of your journey. During your years at DMU, you have developed a strong, sound foundation of knowledge and a network of colleagues and friends. In our busy professional lives, it is easy to lose contact with classmates, professors, mentors, and preceptors. As you grow and evolve through the years, make time to strengthen those bonds from Des Moines University, while offering encouragement and support to those who will follow you. Stay in touch, be involved, and live the life you have imagined. Congratulations.
At this point in our celebration, it is befitting for the graduates to pay tribute to those who have contributed greatly to their success. Will the graduates please rise? Through great dedication and commitment, your esteemed faculty have advanced your capacities as caring and compassionate healthcare providers, scientists, and administrators. And as you go forward, you too have a responsibility to wisely use what you have learned to preserve and enhance the quality of life for those individuals and communities you serve. I ask that you demonstrate your appreciation by applauding the faculty seated in the front rows. Please remain standing. Graduates, to your parents, partners, loved ones, friends, and supporters, people who have cheered you throughout every step of this journey, I ask you to turn and face the audience. This is your opportunity to say thanks. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff at Des Moines University, we commend each of you on achieving this significant milestone. Now, to the members of the class of 2012, this day is a special day of celebration, achievement, and challenge. We celebrate your successful completion of the requirements for the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Masters of Science in Anatomy, Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Masters of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, Master of Public Health, and Master of Healthcare Administration. This is an important milestone, and we celebrate it with you. It is also a day when we acknowledge your achievement of a body of knowledge and a set of special skills with which you can now go forth to render special service to improve the health and health care of our state, our nation, and the world. It is a day of challenge, since now many of you must commit to those important next steps that will complete your preparation and training, that will confer upon you the eligibility to use your skills as a fully qualified professional in your chosen area of endeavor. These are challenges that you have shown yourselves ready to assume and to master. We extend our congratulations to you and to your families and loved ones. We share in the pride they feel in your accomplishments, and we are as excited as they are about the service you will render and the difference you will make. What an exciting and rewarding future that lies ahead of you. A favorite quote of mine is, "Know that you will make your living by what you get, but you will make a life by what you give." Go and serve. Commit to your part in fulfilling our noble mission in the delivery of medical care, in the advancement of knowledge, and in strengthening our system of health care. Reach far, dream colossal dreams, set audacious goals, be bold in leadership, and in the name of service to mankind, be possessed of an outrageous ambition to make things better. That is your legacy. The service that you give is partial payment on the investments made by others in you. I therefore charge you to relentlessly pursue knowledge, seek wisdom, give service, and demand excellence throughout your lifetime. I charge you to fulfill the promise of being health professionals, committed first to service for our nation's rural and underserved citizens, with a dedication to prevention, wellness, and the delivery of compassionate, patient-centered care. I charge you to maintain respect for others and to cherish those who have been your greatest champions. And remember, professional integrity is essential to your success as a healthcare professional. So I charge you to also embrace the values of honesty, accountability, collaboration, and inclusiveness as the basic tenets of integrity. I charge you to be honorable and supportive alumni of Des Moines University. This is an imperative to invest in the next generation of health care professionals. I charge you to lead, to inspire, and to serve, and be always assured of our enormous pride in you. Congratulations, dream big, and focus your life on doing a world of good. Congratulations. I am now pleased to ask the Grand Marshal to step to the podium for the final pronouncement of this ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin. Thank you, and congratulations, graduates. These proceedings are now officially concluded. Please remain seated until the recessional is completed. Families and friends are invited to greet graduates in Hall B, where they robed, or in the atrium outside the doorways.